Well, hello, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to another Blue Star Careers webinar. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know where are you watching from. We'd love to be able to send you shout outs. We are live streaming right now on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and our digital communities in the neighborhood where you definitely need to join us and learn more about our partner today, but also have easy access to connect with them. So this webinar, we're here to celebrate available resources to support our future growth and ongoing career journey. No matter where you are transitioning, military spouse, career path, or an active duty service member who is looking for the next wave, the next place to call it home with your family, with your military family, we're here to support you. We're thrilled today to announce our collaboration and ongoing support for the Learning Alliance Corporation that empowers military connected individuals. LAC, as we're going to shorten it up today, offers telecommunications certifications and career support upon completion for those who complete certificates. We're very excited to learn more about that today. Craig Burnard is here today. He's a military liaison for the Learning Alliance, and he will lead this live discussion. So I ask that you please share your comments, tell him where you're watching. We love to acknowledge all of your questions towards the end of the program. And so without further ado, I'd like to get started and really welcome our guest today. So thank you so much for watching and supporting. Again, tell us where you're watching. We'd love to be able to send you shout outs. Hello, hello. Welcome once again. We are live right now streaming with a very special guest. But those of you who will stream right now, who will watch, join us. Please tag your best friend, your military connection, your best group and connection so that they all know. We all need to know and feel empowered. But also check out our Blue Star Careers community in the neighborhood where we're building a one-stop shop for all of your career needs. So please check us out. Welcome without further ado, Craig. Welcome so much. Thank you for being here. Army veteran, tell us a little bit about yourself, your military connection, and how are things going for you?
Hey, Miss Laura, I appreciate you having me on. Again, for everyone listening, thanks for tuning in. My name's Craig Bernard. 18 months ago, I was Command Sergeant Major Craig Bernard. I was the brigade level Command Sergeant Major for the hospital out at Fort Irwin, California. I was medically retired from the Army back in September of 23. So it was eye-opening. I had done almost 22 years. I had been promoted, fairly quickly in the Army, made the Sergeant Major list at 15 and a half years. And all of a sudden found myself unemployed. So it was eye-opening. It was also very humbling. Especially my spouse of next month, it'll be 33 years. She has a master's degree in education, and she also found it, very, very disheartening to all of a sudden have to move again, but no military housing to settle into. So, I have an interesting story to tell. I'm not your average NCO that was in the military. And I really just want to thank you for taking the time to stop in and let me be a part of this wonderful organization. So thank you, ma'am.
Absolutely. It's an honor. Absolutely. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule because I know you travel a lot, you support a lot of service members, and you promote and do a lot of great outreach to serve the great opportunities that are available through these programs that you guys offer, LLAC or Learning Alliance Corporation. So we really want to know more about your specific opportunities. But first, let me ask you, let's talk about that life changing moment. How did you end up with LAC? Tell us a little bit more about that and what was that that aha moment that challenged you to secure a role here with LAC?
Well, again, I had one of the things about being medically discharged from the Army that as a medic I didn't know is no matter how good you were at your job, you still have 90 days to cut sling load. You're done. You have to take your leave and everything and clear my 21 years and 9 months of military time, and I had 3 weeks to do it. So it was challenging. It was, and then I figured I have a master's degree from Alabama. I'm a certified FEMA disaster manager. I'm an equal opportunity leader. I am a master resiliency trainer. And 4 months after I got my initial notification, I was still unemployed. I thought, I'm a brigade level sergeant major. Why would I need anybody's help to find a job? And it turns out most of the civilian world didn't care that I was a brigade level sergeant major. I didn't have anything. They thought, to coin a phrase, we were all hunter killers, and didn't necessarily know how to equate what I had learned in the military from and pertain it to the civilian world. And I wasn't that great at articulating it. So my wife and I had to move to Florida, which was not terrible. My daughter and my grandkids lived in Florida, but we didn't have any connections out here. And I didn't have the resources. I didn't know how to contact resources like Blue Star Families in order to facilitate, my wife finding a job and this, that, and the other. Again, she's a teacher, so it was a little easier for her than it was for me to find employment. But and then I fell into Learning Alliance, a telecommunications company, when I was medical. I knew nothing about telecom. And it turned out to be one of the greatest things that could have happened to me. They needed somebody to talk to military people about their school and what they do. 85% of our instructors are former military. We literally have every branch of service to include the Space Force. And just walking in, and my job is I get to talk to soldiers and family members every day, and I get to talk to people about the VA or VA medical, and I get to give I get to give soldiers, former service members, purpose, direction, and motivation, and a career field in telecom. It turns out telecom really likes military people. Everyone says they like military people and want to hire military people. I have found that telecom is the most accessible for and the most military friendly genre of employment.
Yeah, that is great to know. Thank you for sharing that because, I mean, you're right. There's so many transferable skills, but I think sometimes we just don't know how to translate, or maybe perhaps our personal individual challenges prevent us from asking for
Right.
help, from raising our hand, to connecting to the next peer, because just we have just too much. And in 90 days is just not enough. It feels like, it's a long time, 3 months, but it's just not enough. I think it goes really fast, especially when you are on the clock. It goes really fast. But in your opinion, Craig, what are some of those biggest challenges that you continue to observe that veterans or military spouses still face during their transition, after retirement, or transition to a new community, seeking new opportunities?
I I know I can speak for me. I know that my wife had said it. Her fear was I was going to be, Sergeant Major Bernard for the rest of my life. And I say that to say, we have an issue. You never want to forget your military roots, but you have to move forward. Um, and I think that's the hardest part is we knew who we were in the military, and who you are as a civilian is completely different. Also, the camaraderie of the military doesn't always directly transfer into the civilian world. Um, we are, taught from basic training, from boot camp, that that person to the left or your right is your responsibility. Well, once you get into the civilian world, they're your friends. They want, they don't want to wish you ill, but they're not your responsibility. And I think that's a hard change. When I was struggling to find work, I didn't know who to reach out to, and it was humbling for me. I joined the Army at 34. I was a 34-year-old E2 when I showed up at the 101st Airborne Division and 2nd Battalion, 327th Infantry as a E2 medic. So I was 3 months older than my first sergeant. So my journey was different. And so when I got out, I was 55 years old and had only done 22 years of military. And in that time, I hadn't learned anything else about the civilian world. And I think the open mindedness is a hard skill to acquire when you go from being told what to do and your day is pretty much accounted for every day to you can pretty much do whatever you want to and nobody cares what you're doing.
Absolutely. Yes. We're all navigating our own journeys in our very own respectful way, but at the same time, we sometimes we don't know what we're doing. And it's until we connect with great individuals like yourself, you're now in a great position to lead, but also share wealth of knowledge and resources for other great families. That could be life-changing moments for sure.
Right.
Now let's talk about careers or not careers, but just in general services through Learning Alliance Corporation. Why careers in the trade industry, would you say? What sold you to join this organization and really get involved with them?
Well, so to explain what they do and then why I do it. So, Learning Alliance is a telecom school based in Tampa, Florida. And what we do is we certify people in the safety and the techniques to work in the telecom industry. We have four main courses that we teach. We have a tower course, which teaches you how the towers work. And what I say when I do my briefings is that we teach everything from the top of the tower to your phone. So we teach people how to erect, repair, and maintain cell towers, then or communication towers, and then we teach a wireless course, which is wireless inside a building. And then we teach a fiber course, which gets the fiber from the street to the building. And then we also do a telecom based business information system course. Now the tower course is 4 weeks. The wireless course is 2 weeks. The the fiber course is 2 weeks, and we teach multiple different kinds of towers, aerostats, self-sustaining, um, anything from the ones that attach to the side of buildings to the 400 footers that are out on the mountainsides. Um, but we and then but what makes us different is wherever you are in the country, we have contracts in every state in the union. And what we do is if you're in Washington State and you want to go to school in Tampa, we pay for your flight from Washington to Tampa. And then you live in our dorms, which you don't pay for. We feed you 3 squares a day while you're in school. We don't have any school on Sunday. So you're kind of on your own on Sunday. But if you have a financial situation where you can't afford food on Sunday, or your soldier can't afford food, or your family member or what have you can't afford food on Sunday, we have a service organization that provides that as well. So travel's paid for by us, food's paid for by us, housing's paid for by us. So all people have to do is concentrate on learning. And then we have a placement department that gets in contact with the student as soon as they sign up, figure out where they want to be, and then we find them jobs. And currently we're sitting at about a 90% job placement rate. In fact, 35% of our students are placed in jobs before they even leave the course.
That is
So,
wonderful news. I
yes,
mean,
ma'am.
the whole idea of you take care of our members, you take care of those who want to learn and get a new career. You also do provide free housing, free meals, everything. That is, that's huge help, especially when you are doing post transition. Maybe things did not work out the way you expected. Maybe like us, you had those buyer remorse. You move where you thought home was
Sure.
home, but it's really not home, and you're like, I'm ready for another career or re-engage in something else. This is such a great opportunity to be able to go back and be among peers, others that are going through the same process of you of transitioning, and but also you're not doing it completely alone. I love this,
Right.
Mr. Craig. This is such a wonderful opportunity. For those who are expecting or watching. So, just a little recap for those who are watching, and I have a few more comments in our spouse first community here, which I'm watching on this side, but I also have some in our digital platform. So please post your comments, post your questions. If you are tuning in right now, we're talking to Craig, who is representing our Learning Alliance Corporation based out of Tampa, Florida. But they offer some free training resources for our service members, spouses, anyone really who wants to learn careers in the trade. They have contracts all over the 50 states. So watch the replay and get to know more about this great opportunity. Um,
Right.
Craig, also, what are let me ask you now back to the trades. Um, why perhaps sometimes we sort of underutilize great opportunities such as this one. What do you think could do better to explore more opportunities and maybe perhaps engage in them to get a really sustainable career? Share with us.
Well, and I think it's the stigma of the trades. It's blue collar. It's not, a lot of people, they want to be. I mean, I have a master's from a top 100 university. It's like I get it. It's what we were told we were supposed to do. And I ended up in telecom because the reality is, this school, their job is to find people jobs in telecom, and telecom's not going anywhere. You would be hard pressed to find somebody that doesn't have a smartphone or at least a cellular phone to make communication that uses those towers. And just so we're clear, we are approved by the VA. So we take the GI Bill as far as payment. We do what our philosophy here at Learning Alliance is: no student pays out of pocket for our courses. Now the courses do cost. We can't, live for free. But again, we do the GI Bill in Florida. We take their education dollars for duty. We do have scholarship offers available to spouses as well. And again, it's because we want to make sure that that people are focusing on just the education part and are taking care of their families in the meantime. Like, for example, we do the GI Bill. GI Bill pays for like 97% of the courses. But the GI Bill for Tampa gives you nearly $2,600 a month while you're in school in Tampa to live in our housing for free. So you just get to keep the $2,600 a month. We do not take that from you as some technical schools will. So again, it's what do you want to do with your life? Do you like working with your hands? Do you like making stuff? Do you like being? I mean, if people want to go to college and sit in a classroom and learn stuff that they don't know is going to apply after college, I get that. I did it. I understand. However, when people finish our courses, we find them jobs in telecommunications, and they're doing telecommunications. So that's more of what I learned being a part of the technical school community, is that our programs and our courses of study are directly applicable to the job arena that you want to end up in.
Absolutely. And I think there's a huge misunderstanding as well, or we sort of stereotype that all service members want to go back to doing the same sort of a similar role
Yeah,
that they did in the in service. And a great percentage there actually are not, or military spouses too. Not everybody wants to work from home. Not everybody wants to be in an office. We want to be around peers, individuals, but we also want to be doing something that is productive. I know with Hector's particular role when he was transitioned, my spouse, he very clearly from the moment said, I don't want to be able to have to cross the gate anymore. I don't want to have to ask for anything else. I want to be out doing, with my hands, working, getting actively out in the environment or doing other things, right? Doing handiwork type of thing. At first, I was shocked as a spouse. I was like, but you have a bachelor's, but don't you want to go get a master's? Don't you want to do some, different type of work in an office and lead other things? And he was like, nope. I'm very clear with what I want to do. So I think this is a great opportunity for a lot of service members, a lot of spouses who are exploring to really secure an opportunity that has long-term growth, but it also has presence in all 50 states. I think that's key right there, right, Mr. Craig? It's
right,
presence in all 50 states that we all can find and identify a telecommunications company that will have those opportunities available.
right.
We'll continue to do that.
Right. So the only issue we have with placing students is they get very micro specific on where they want to end up. Like, we had one kid wanted to end up specifically in Minot, North Dakota, because that's where his grandmother lived and he wanted to be by her. And the issue is there's only one contract in North Dakota. There's 23 spots, and unless somebody passes away, they don't give up the spot. So he had a harder time finding a job. We did eventually place him, but one of the other things our placement department does for these individuals is that if you find a job and a year later you you don't want to do that for that company anymore, you want to look for something else, you contact Learning Alliance. Our placement department will replace you in another job. Or you want to move to another state and you don't want to do the legwork in doing it, Learning Alliance will do the legwork. Once you are a member of the Learning Alliance family, they will continue to find you career resources until you've found the one that you want to stick with.
That is wonderful. That is a great network or program, but also partnership to be part of it, which leads me to ask you, in your personal opinion, what are some of those great ways that other members who are transitioning or military spouses can expand their professional networks outside of the military community? You shared a little bit how you and your spouse transitioned or relocated to Florida. You didn't have anyone. And now that you know what you know now, how can others expand their professional networks outside of the military when they're like moving to Montana or some of these really random places that they don't have a connection?
Well, and it's interesting that you say that, because if you were to look at my LinkedIn before I got out of the military, of course, 99% of it or 98% of it was military people. But now it's about 50% telecommunications people, and there's all sorts of other business people and what have you that are on my feed now, because again, it's I loved being in the Army. I have my last coin as a sergeant major said on the back, I was never supposed to make it this far. Um, I was an underdog. I was not supposed to be good at it, and it turned out to be the greatest thing that could have happened to me. But I'm no longer that anymore, and so consciously realigning yourself with your current situation is the first step you have to take. You never want to forget what got you here, but you don't have to be what you were. And I encourage people to seek out things that interest them. I got to be honest. I have a former sergeant major buddy of mine who was one of the best sergeant majors I ever worked for. And as a medic, he was an engineer, and he was just, we had a great relationship. And now what he does now is he makes knives out of his garage, because that was his passion. That's what he did. You got to find what you want to do, and not what other people think you should do. Most people, I was in sales before I got into the Army. And now I don't get paid commission. I don't get paid a lot for doing this. I do this because I get to talk to service members every day. And that's a passion of mine. I found that that's what it was. So I don't do anything medical anymore, and I'm perfectly fine with that. The guy who invented this program is a former Army E7 Ranger. He was an infantry guy. We have one guy, he's a retired sergeant major, as a matter of fact, that has a degree in communications as one of our instructors. All the other instructors were infantry, one of them was a nuclear sub repairman. I mean, it's find what you want to do and do that, and then build your, relationships around your passion.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, and for sharing, your passion and also your experience. I mean, you're so right. You're no longer in the medical, but I'm sure it comes in handy when somebody at home has a medical emergency, that you be the one who respond.
I can still put
Now,
Band-Aids on. Yes,
there
I
you
can do
go.
that.
There you go.
Yeah.
You can still prepare and coach the family to make great choices health wise.
That's right.
Now, I do want you to walk us a little bit. I want to share where can members find and learn more about uh, Learning Alliance. And so this is what the site looks like, so that you know that you are at the right spot, team. Those of you who are watching or who will watch this display want to make sure that you make it to the right place. This is what the site looks like. So tell us a little bit about the programs that are available, and just recap a little bit, Craig, for us, so that those who might be tagging. I see a couple of members who tag a couple of other spouses, and spouses. Sometimes you are the best will ambassador in the resource sharing for your service members, for your friends, or your spouse, neighbors, service members who's transitioning. This is a great opportunity for you to tag and pay it forward.
Yeah. So again, the website's pretty self-explanatory. It's one of those. I had a lot of complaints in the Army when I was working websites. It's like you could tell it was invented by somebody who never had to use it. And this is actually pretty user friendly. It'll talk about veterans. It'll talk about the different programs that we do, how it can get paid for, what we offer. And again, the main ones are the Tower program, the the wireless program, the fiber program, and the BIS, which is Business Information Systems program, all taught on site in Tampa. And again, we pay for the transportation to Tampa. It's the commitment of the individual. It's what are you looking to do? If you're looking into anything that's a stable career, telecommunications is a pretty stable career because telecommunications isn't going anywhere anytime soon. And so what we do is we just facilitate that transition for you. Like as I stated, most of our people get it. We transitioned out of the military and it was not easy. Um, Especially people who went from their parents' house to the military and now they're out and they've had somebody telling them what to do for the majority of their life. And now they get to make the decisions all on their own, and it's scary. Um, and so what our website is, again, it's mylearningalliance.com. Not just Learning Alliance, it's My Learning Alliance, so that it shows that the individual has ownership of their future, and we just try to facilitate that career for you.
Excellent. And we did share the link in the research right on the comments, but also you can join our Blue Star Careers neighborhood where we'll have a partner profile and we'll continuously share it along the way. Any opportunities to connect with Craig, but also just to learn in general about this industry. And you can watch the replay of the webinar and everything else. So we're getting ready to close up a little bit to wrap up the segment, but I do want to acknowledge some of our members who are watching in the multiple sections or different communities. So I want to say hello to John. Thank you so much for watching from Texas. Alan from being in Alabama. Hello, Tasha. Thank you so much for being there. And you also had some comments over here. As a career coach, the research says, yes, it's still many barriers, but I'm glad that people like you are making a difference, Tasha. Thank you. She did ask if it was Aerostar Towers. I'm assuming for the
Yeah,
telecommunications.
Aerostat towers.
Yeah, perfect. All right. So again, tagging other members who were watching and sharing the opportunity. So thank you so much for supporting. Also on the other side, I'd like to say hello to Barbara. Thank you for Sierra, for Maria for supporting. We have Bill, Jennifer, and then Concerned Veterans of America in Ohio. Please tag and share with your community there as well. So continue to share and pay it forward because this is some great resources. When we hear about great resources that are good for military families in general, we definitely want to know and expose you to it because everyone needs to know. And if it's not for you, pay it forward. Tag your neighbor, your best friend, your service member who is transitioning, or the friend of the friend who needs to, who needs to know about these opportunities so that we can all advance together. So Mr. Craig, I know you have other troubles and you have other great activities for outreach, but is there anything call to action you would like us all to know that we can support you, that you're working on? How can we wrap up this segment with our members knowing what's the biggest takeaway for this?
First of all, Miss Laura, I really appreciate the opportunity to be out here just to talk to people. Again, this is an ad, I guess, for Learning Alliance, but the reality is I'm out here to make sure people have purpose, direction, and motivation for whatever their next endeavors are in life. Whether it's the spouse looking for, a constant stream of employment for when they move with their spouse, or for the military member getting out who just the future just is a haze that they don't know how to navigate. Ask questions, ask for help. There is nothing wrong with saying, I don't know what I'm doing. When I was in the military, I knew exactly what my job was. I knew who I was responsible to and for. But once it got into the civilian world, it got murky really fast, and I didn't know how to ask questions. Ask those questions. Places like Blue Star Families are here to assist people with their needs. For those family members that are aligned with the military community, please just be humble and ask the questions. It will make your life a whole lot easier. I am a cautionary tale. Do not do what I did. Be open to change and be open to something new, and your whole world will open up for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We couldn't have said it better. Thank you very much for joining us today, for taking time out of your busy schedule. And thank you for everything you do out there in Tampa, but not just Tampa, of course, all across the U.S. If you'd like to know more, connect with Craig. His LinkedIn, it's in the comments. But also, you can join our Blue Star Careers community in the neighborhood and learn more about My Alliance and connect with them directly, or just tab it or save it in your database, and we'll take care of you to make sure that ensure that you make it where you need to go. So thank you so much for watching today. Thank you for supporting. You have a great rest of your week. Thank you.